Welcome to the Model Diaries podcast.
Your front row seat to the untold stories of a model's world.
I'm Madeline Weston, head booker for Q Models.
And I'm Millie Ross, international model, and we are your hosts.
Join us as we unpack, one story at a time, the faces behind the lens. Welcome to the Model Diaries podcast, Georgia Gibbs.
Thank you for having me, guys.
With over a decade of experience modelling across Australia, Europe and the US, you first stepped into the industry and in front of Australia on Australia's Next Top Model. Today, alongside your modelling career, you're also a traditional Chinese herbalist and a cycle awareness educator, driven by a passion for wellness, balance and helping others connect with their bodies.
Are you ready to tell us your story?
Yeah, I would love to. Let's do it.
So let's go back to the beginning. You've got quite a unique scouting story. You were scouted on Australia's Next Top Model. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I never really wanted to be a model. It was never like part of my career plan.
What was your career plan? Like, where were we going?
My career plan, I graduated school with a really good ATAR and got into University of WA. And I was deciding between like being a doctor or physiotherapy.
Okay.
So that was like my plan of life.
Modelling wasn't like on the bingo card.
It was always like, people would say to my mum, like, your daughter needs to be a model. She's so tall and whatever. And my mum would always be like, yeah, you know, haha. And then, and then my best friend at the time, Hayley, was like big into fashion and makeup. And she entered me into Australia's Next Top Model.
So you didn't even enter yourself?
Yeah, she entered me.
Did Hayley tell you?
No. And then she was like, okay, they're doing the audition down at Perth and we're just going to go. Let's just go. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just remember putting on this like lime green little jumpsuit and like high heels. And I was like, I guess this is what we're doing. And then I got through and ended up like, yeah, being part of the show.
Okay. So how much lead time did she tell you before she's like, okay, pack your bag, we're going to Perth?
Literally like 2 days.
Okay. How did you feel when she told you?
I was just like, sure. Like I was just like a girl from like kind of a small town. So I was like, all right, like what can you lose, I guess. But I just didn't think it was going to go anywhere, right?
So you were wearing your hot green jumpsuit, did
Lime
you say?
green.
Lime
yep.
green, hot green.
Bright green, yeah.
You turn up in Perth.
Yeah.
What did you have to do?
You have to like walk on the catwalk and then like say hi and basically like Alex Perry and Charlotte Dawson, everyone would kind of just, you know, ask you a couple of questions, look at you and then... you know, the general model story.
Yeah.
And then decide, like, if you're going through to the next round or not.
And do you remember your thought process during this time of like the casting process
Yeah.
of meeting Alex Perry? And did you
Yeah.
know who Alex Perry was at the time? And
Not really. I didn't have, like, a huge fashion upbringing at
Yeah.
all. I was pretty much of, like, a rogue, like, muddy kid.
Love that.
Yeah. And then, but what kind of, I guess my story before that was I ended up doing, like, Miss Universe. So I ended up kind of in the pageant world.
Okay.
So basically I just like end up doing Miss WA purely because I kind of wanted to like make friends and it looked fun and like they go to Bali and I was like, this looks cool, you know?
Yeah.
And ended up kind of like doing really well and then going on to like Miss Universe and it was like a whole thing. And then, yeah, Hayley was like, you have to do modelling. And for me, it was just, I kind of saw it as an opportunity to like get out of my little town and maybe see Australia and like it never was kind of something that I put like a heap of thought into. It just kind of happened.
So from making it through the first interviews in Perth, what
Yeah.
happened there? Did you all go to Sydney or like?
Yeah, then they like flew us to Sydney and then we started filming the show. And then I got really badly bullied at high school. So I had a really hard time with girls. So the idea of like being in a house with 10 girls was like my absolute nightmare.
Was there bullying in the house or was that just something that you were nervous about?
Yeah, so I didn't even end up going into the house.
Oh, it was just like too much.
I was like, we started filming and they literally wanted to film like us girls like arguing. They were giving us scripts, telling us what to say. Yeah. And I just was like, this is not for me. I am not someone that's going to participate in this kind of energy where women are just putting each other down. It just wasn't for me at all.
I feel like as a 17-year-old, that's actually a really like mature and profound thought process to have. I think
Yeah.
like a lot of people would more so be like, oh, like especially now, like with reality TV,
Yeah.
it's kind of like your ticket into the limelight.
Yeah,
Whereas
no.
you saw that and you were like,
No.
this is my exit.
It's my nightmare.
Which
and
is
I was never
amazing.
really into TV. I've always been like a bit of an old soul. So yeah, to me it was kind of like my nightmare. And then, but Alex Perry was the one that actually scouted me. And then he was like, you're going to be like a really successful lingerie and swimwear model.
Yeah.
And at that time, my agent in Perth had basically told me I was like never going to be successful. And I was like, all right, okay. Like
How
super harsh.
how did they say that to you?
Literally, like I did like their 6 week like development force, whatever. And then at the end, they were like, "You're just not for us, and you're not like going to be successful." They said I wasn't the wrong body; I was the wrong shape because I was like quite curvy when I was younger.
Wow.
Yeah,
Imagine being that agent now and being like, well, egg on my face.
yeah, literally. I'm like, haha.
So you said Alex Perry scouted you. Did he then connect you to IMG, which was the next agency that signed you? Is that
No,
correct?
so he just told me, he was like, you could have so much success as like a lingerie swimwear girl, and like you should just give it a go. And then I don't really remember what happened after that, but like someone connected me with someone. I ended up signing with an agency in Sydney.
Yeah.
And then was modeling in Sydney while working like 2 other jobs, like you know how it is.
What jobs were they?
I was nannying.
Yeah.
And then I was also working at Lorna Jane on Saturdays. And it's
Okay.
funny because now I shoot like their campaigns and stuff. And I'm like, I used to work in your store.
It's like a full circle moment.
Full circle. Yeah.
Was there, like, reverting back
Yeah.
quickly, was there a particular moment on the show that was quite tough for you?
Yeah. I think like encouraging women to put each other down.
Yeah.
It was just a fundamental whole body no for me. It's like, yeah.
Because you wouldn't have been on there for long.
No.
But it's interesting because, again, at 17, for someone at that age, you know, you're so impressionable. Like, you'll say
Yeah.
yes to anything. You know,
Yeah.
you're being manipulated by people who are older than you in an industry that a lot of girls would dream and die to be in. They will just say yes. But
Yeah.
for you, you're just like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want to have a bar of it.
No, I think I was so badly bullied through school. I
Yeah.
had like a really rough time.
Yeah.
That I just was like, why would I want to make anyone else feel that way?
Did that have anything to do with your the modeling aspect of your career, like the bullying?
What do you mean? In what context?
Well, I guess a lot of girls that come into this room and like talk to us about their journey, a lot of the time they have had a similar experience growing up, and a lot of the bullying stems from, I guess, maybe like tall poppy syndrome, or like other girls like trying to bring them down because they are in the modeling industry. I was just wondering if that had anything to do with like your journey with bullying. Like,
for me, it was like being a 14-year-old girl that like looked how I do now. I was so young.
Yeah.
And I think it's just very it's very challenging, you know, when you're that age and you're kind of sexualized and older boys are looking at you and then the girls don't like it, and we live in this kind of society when we're very young of like attention is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So she's getting all the attention and I don't like that.
Yeah.
And we're taught to like compete with that, when actually a lot of the time the girls that are getting that attention, like I didn't want it. I did not want any of that attention, right? So it kind of, I guess, makes female friendships really, really hard. And that's why I've been really passionate kind of after school to build like genuine relationships. That's why I started Anybody quite a few years ago. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, where I just was like trying to get women to understand that even girls that like look like us and do modeling and are super successful like have the same insecurities, and we all have things that we don't like about ourselves, and like we're all going through the same shit, and like there's really nothing to compete against. And I just wish we lived in more of a society where women just loved on each other, and I'm super passionate about that.
Yeah.
I do feel like we're going to jump ahead a little bit, but I do want to talk about this now because you just brought it up.
Yeah.
But I do think you were kind of at the forefront of the body positive movement in Australia, especially like with Anybody. And you were like one of the first people who really normalized and vocalized it across your platform as well.
Yeah.
The power of inclusivity.
Yeah. I mean, I was like shut down by my first agent for being the wrong body type, and everyone's like, you have the ideal body type, you know? So it's like all perspective.
Yeah.
Like beauty is perspective. And I mean, I think I'm a very blessed person. I really truly see beauty in everything, in like the world around me and in people. But I think we've been told that like beauty is this one specific thing that fits into this one specific box.
I think that's a really important thing of what you said, because like if you throw yourself back into like the Middle Ages, beauty was a fuller figure body that was pale, because that meant you didn't go outside and you weren't working in the fields. So like now when you fast forward to 2025 and everyone wants to be tan and everyone wants to be like a straight sized body, back in the day you would have been like a poor person who works in the field. And that's like, that's just all because of what someone's told you beauty is now.
Yeah. I think it's also an absence of understanding of oneness, and like this goes back to like spirituality, and maybe I'm going to go on a tangent. But
do it.
No,
lean in.
Very spiritual girly here.
It comes back to oneness. Like if you're somebody that believes that like there's only one kind of beauty, then you're unable to see the beauty that is inherent and all around you at all times. It's like we're really taught to be like, we love the flowers in springtime, but when they shed in wintertime, trees are so ugly without their leaves. And like that's kind of like women, like we go through these seasons and we're always changing, and like we have to actually change our worldview to change the way that we see beauty. We have to understand that like beauty is inherently everywhere. It's just like our perspective.
I think that's so
That's
amazing.
so beautiful. And a poet.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Now that we're all enlightened, we're going back to modelling, we're going back to Sydney. I want to jump back to your first agent.
Yeah.
Well, not your first agent, your second agent,
Yeah.
who decided that your body type was okay.
Yeah.
Talk us through that journey and how that started, and I guess where your career really started taking off.
Yeah. So I'm from like south of Perth.
Yeah.
And I moved to Melbourne, and then I moved to Sydney, and I was with my first agency and, you know, working quite a bit. And also still had like 2 other jobs, but yeah, things were going really well. And I had a boyfriend, and like I was really excited and whatever. Everything was like in my life was flowing. And then the boyfriend like broke my heart, and I was sitting at a coffee shop in Sydney. By the way, models get their hearts splattered. Also, if anyone's listening to this, everyone's like, "You're so pretty. I'm sure a man has never been mean to you." And I'm like, ugh.
Let me just trauma dump on you.
Yeah, literally.
I'm definitely not the heartbreaker.
Yeah, literally. And I was like heartbroken, sitting at a coffee shop in Sydney. I was like sitting there with a chocolate muffin and a coffee. And then I got a call from my agent. MJ Day like saw you on Instagram from Sports Illustrated. And like, you're going to go for a casting in New York. And I'd like never been to America.
So you flew all the way to America for a casting.
Yeah. For Sports Illustrated.
I would have dropped my muffin.
So I'm literally scuffing my face with a chocolate muffin, being like, this guy, like I'm heartbroken, I'm so sad. And then literally I remember like the switch. It was like, my agent was like, you're going to go do Sports Illustrated. And I like put down the phone and I was like, finished my muffin and was like, screw that guy, you know? I was like, let's go.
Okay, so you got the call. When did you get on the plane?
I can't remember. I think it was a couple weeks later.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just around my birthday. So yeah, I went to New York, did the casting. MJ Day was like, you're like the sunshine. And I have sunshine tattooed on my finger. And I was like, always remember your sunshine. Always remember your sunshine. Sunshine. She was so sweet. Anyway, I was like too young that season. And then they booked me the next year. So
That's
then
amazing.
I like went to America, ended up signing with all my agents in America on that first trip. And then moved to America. And then met my next boyfriend.
Girl, if the universe needed to give you a bigger sign that guy was not worth it,
I was gonna say,
this
like,
is it.
you literally closed one door instantly.
An entire mansion opened.
Honestly,
That
the
has been
whole
my
world.
life. Yeah, it's pretty wild. I can tell you many stories of that, where like I've let things go that have felt so hard, and the universe has been like,
Can
and
you
I'm like,
please enlighten us with one story? I feel like you've just got
Oh my God, I
a
have
bundle
so
of
many.
beautiful stories.
so many. I feel like I'm going to jump to a whole new tangent.
Anything about the industry?
First, before you open that
Okay.
door, can you close the door on Sports Illustrated?
Oh,
Like,
sure. Oh, yeah.
walk us through, because that's like an iconic moment in your career. Walk
Yeah.
us through that shoot. Where was it? Like,
Yeah. I think for me, Sports Illustrated was like a dream for me because
Yeah.
I was like, it's like a platform that celebrates like kind of the body type that I had. I was always kind of like curvier, and actually I lose weight when I'm stressed. And I feel like the last few years I've just been really stressed, and I just like keep getting smaller, and everyone thinks it's like an intentional thing. And I'm like, this is not an intentional thing.
Butterfly.
And then everyone like celebrates you for being super skinny. And I'm like, this is not my happy state. This is not my happy, healthy state, right? Anyway, that's a whole other tangent. But
we'll
Sports
circle back.
yeah, circling back. Yeah, I like flew to New York. I'd like never been to New York. And I just remember walking around with this girl from like a small town in Australia being like, what is going on? Where am I? And then at the time they were in like a beautiful building along I think it's the Hudson River. They had like a penthouse. So you just like take the ride up. I like got myself a little coffee, like feeling so cute. It was like, okay. And then
I'm here for my job.
yeah, I was like, hello. And then my meet with MJ was meant to be like, I think it was like 15 minutes. We ended up talking for so long. We were just in there like nattering, going back and forth. And I just had the best time and like met the girls, and then we took photos literally in like a cupboard because I can't remember, the room wasn't available. So Taylor B was like shooting me in like a cupboard. It was just hilarious. It was so cute.
Wow.
And they just get to know you. Like they really
Yeah.
care about who you are. And then that night I met like one other girl who was Aussie as well. She was at the casting, and it was my birthday, so she like took me out for my birthday.
Oh, I love that.
I know, and I like went partying in New York City, and I thought I was the coolest person ever.
Like,
I was
I've made it.
I was like, look at me go!
You're like 3 weeks ago, I was crying.
Eating
Over
a muffin,
man.
and now we're here in
And
New
now
York.
I'm in New York City going to my SI casting. Hello, you know, I was just
Yes.
super happy and like high on life. And then I ended up going to LA, signing with an agent there. I met my ex-partner in a coffee shop in LA that trip.
Eating a muffin?
He
Probably.
also had a chocolate muffin.
No, the funny thing was he was drinking a long black and he was on crutches. And I bought him a coffee because I like felt kind of bad for him, like as a kind of like, as a joke. I don't know why I do these weird things, and then ended up being my boyfriend. Yeah, it's so funny.
Well, if anyone sees anyone on crutches, just buy them a coffee.
Literally,
and you're
he
in.
might be the love of your life. Go for it.
Okay, so can you tell us about the shoot? The year later, like we're
Yeah.
fast forwarding to the shoot.
Totally. A year later, it was 2018. We did like a beautiful campaign in Aruba. And it was
Amazing.
stunning and it was gorgeous. And like, it was actually the one shoot where like, I was not at all like thinking about my body. I wasn't thinking about like, what do I need to eat? What do I need to do? I just like didn't care. I just was like, these people actually celebrate me however I am. So I'm just going to like show the heck up.
I
And
was going to say, I've seen on sets, they are so,
Yeah.
they
like,
just celebrate
Yutsai
you.
is like celebrating you and complimenting you the whole time. MJ is like a hype girl in the back. Like, it's just so fun. Like, it's so much fun. I had literally the best time. And then, and then it got delayed. Then we had like the launch party in New York. And I was once again crying over a boy. Hilarious.
Oh,
Wait, the
The one I met.
muffin, the crutches, long black boy?
Yeah, so
okay,
this
that
is
is,
like-
don't meet a boy in the coffee shop.
No.
Okay, no.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, this is 2 years later. And then he broke my heart, cheated on me publicly, and like told everyone. Yeah, it was a whole thing. We don't need to go into that. But I was like crying on the day. It was
On your big day.
It was on Valentine's Day that they were doing the like big launch party in New York. And I had got fully dressed up, like Toby's doing my makeup. I just remember her looking at me being like, this is your moment. Are you going to let a man ruin it?
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes.
no. No, I am
You know
not.
what?
Like,
No.
screw that guy.
Can I say though, a lot of like your key moments in your life have come from someone really kind of like fucking you over.
I know.
That the universe is like, she will not have this. We will make this better for her. Okay.
But I love that inner fire that you
Yeah.
have where you're like, no, like
Yeah.
I'm not letting someone, something ruin
Yeah,
my
moment.
Yeah.
That I worked really hard for. I was like,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
It's like drives, like, no,
Yeah.
I'm going to prove these people wrong.
My life, and if you look at my astrology, if you're into astrology,
Me.
it's like death and rebirth. Like the whole thing's just like
Well,
Just
I
I
think-
think giving that.
I was about to
Boom.
say, I
that's
feel
all
like,
it's been.
boom.
Literally, every time things get really hard, they get really good, and it's like all at the same time. And I'm like, got it. Yeah.
at least you know next time you're going through a struggle, you're like, okay, what's on the cards?
I'm like, let's go.
Something good is around the corner.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about LA because you
Yeah.
then went to LA, you
Yeah.
got signed with your agency, and
Yeah.
tell us of the progression of then working and being in America.
Yeah. So I ended up getting a visa and like living in LA and was traveling between LA and New York. I was also living in London at the time. So I was like kind of going between New York, LA,
She is
in
a
London.
nomad of the world.
of the world. So I was kind of modeling between those three places. I did like 150 flights in 2018.
I feel like you should get like a little trophy or something for that.
I should get an award for sure. And then
I want a reward.
and then literally that was when my health like completely broke down.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did all of these flights. My partner cheated on me. My dad had open heart surgery. And my health just went like, I am done. I'm
Yeah.
cooked.
Oh.
Which was like, and then it forced me to like stop and slow down and figure out what I really wanted. And I was living in LA, didn't really have a support system. And then was spending like all the money that I'd made modeling kind of on healing my health journey. And that's where kind of my boundaries came in. And I really learned that you have to like look after yourself, because even though everyone is a good person, like it's no one's job to look after you. Like
Yeah.
I would always be like, all these other people, like they can look after me, like whatever. No, like it's your job and you have to implement your boundaries and you have to kind of honor yourself, because everyone else is just trying to honor themselves too. Like it's no one's fault, right?
Yeah.
And I just learned that so hard. I was so sick and I was just by myself. And it was, again, like that peak modeling career. And then it was like worse sickness. And it's like this roller coaster that I've kind of been on the last 7 years.
What was the moment you knew that something was just not right?
The moment was when I got like a an infection that was so bad, like I almost went septic.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, was there warning signs that you just, like, suppressed and ignored and were like, no, I can push through because, like, hustle till I die, like,
For
literally
sure.
nearly?
I just, like, I remember I was flying to Tanzania from America for a shoot, and I got a kidney infection as I got on the plane.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was, like, had a fever and was, like, vomiting and had, like, the most extreme pain for, like, 32 hours.
That is so dangerous.
And then landed on an island in Africa. Yeah,
Oh my
it's been
God, no,
wild.
that is, like, wild. Because, like,
My mom, like, she almost lost her hair through this period of my modeling. She was just like, my baby's on a plane to Africa, and she's, like, got a kidney infection, and, like, yeah.
because if your temperature, like, it's something like, because I've had a kidney infection.
Oh, yeah, you get
and
it.
the doctor was, like, so panicked. He was like, if your temperature doesn't drop in 3 hours, you go to go to emergency.
Yeah, but you're, like, on a plane in the air.
Yeah, to Africa. Yep, I heard.
Do we have a doctor in here? So then
Yeah.
what happened then? You landed
I landed in Africa and then took, like, a heap of antibiotics and then did the shoot anyway.
How long was the shoot, do you remember?
It was, like, 2 days.
Girlfriend.
Yeah. And I just, like, smile and wave. This is the thing of, I think this takes us to the topic of, like, the hard thing about modeling, it's such a blessing, right? It's given us all these opportunities. Like, I wouldn't take it back for anything. But you're not allowed to be off.
Yeah.
There's no, like, oh, you show up to a shoot, they're paying you a day rate, they've gone through the selection process of casting and doing all these things. There's no, like, you just get to show up and be heartbroken or feeling sick, or you just have to be on.
Which I think is so hard. Like, I was actually thinking about this morning because me and Millie were having a conversation, and I'm like, I feel peaking shit at the moment because I'm about to get my period, and I just feel horrible. And I was like, not that I've ever, like, been in the world of myself ever modeling or anything, but I was like, I don't know how models do that because 2 weeks out of my month, I am shit.
Yeah.
So, like, if someone said to me, oh, tomorrow, bikini, I'd be like, well, joke's on you.
Yeah, you're like,
Tomorrow, cancelled.
So I don't know how models
Yes.
juggle this to
That's-
be their best all the time.
That's what brought me to being, like, a cycle awareness coach.
We will get into
Because
this.
it's just, it's impossible. Like, the expectation with modeling is, like, a masculine expectation. It's expecting us to show up the way that men show up. And, like, I don't know if you know, but our daily cycle is built on a men's hormone cycle, not a women's. So the 24-hour hormone cycle, men have a 24-hour hormone cycle, 24-hour clock. Testosterone basically, like, peaks in the morning and decreases in the afternoon.
So what should my clock be? What should I be running on?
You don't even have a clock. You have an infradian rhythm, which is
Whoa.
completely different.
Is that something
so,
to do
like,
with sleep?
No,
Oh.
that's circadian.
Oh, so close. I was like, I'm
close. You're like,
educated. There's a sleep thing, right?
And that's what's crazy. So our day clock, our, like, 9 to 5, that's built on a men's hormone cycle. Women aren't meant to be able to thrive in that.
No wonder I'm just living in my masculine energy so much.
Yeah. And, like, with women, when you're a model, you have to show up like you're ovulating your whole cycle, and it's so unrealistic. And that's why, like, you can only really do it if you're, like, on birth control and a couple of meds that are just like shutting down your endocrine system, because, like, it's literally impossible to show up as your best, feeling sexiest, beautiful self every single day, because sometimes you're due for your period or you just started bleeding and you're cramping and you're feeling like shit, and you have to show up anyway, and it's so much pressure.
Can you talk about cycle awareness?
Yeah.
So how did you get into this?
Yeah.
Did modeling push you in because you wanted to find out more for yourself, and then you're like, wow, this is so interesting. I will share this knowledge.
Yeah. So basically when I got sick in 2018, I tried everything, went to every doctor, spent, like, all my savings, did all the things, and nothing helped.
Like
nothing
Western
was getting
medicine?
me better. Yeah. And then I went to naturopaths, and, like, literally nothing was working.
Okay.
And then my agent at the time, Steve, when I was at Wilhelmina, love Steve, by the way, Angel, he was like, look, I've been seeing this lady. She helped me with my rosacea. You have rosacea. So, like, you should go see her and just see if she can help you. And I was at the point where I was like, I will do anything. And I went and saw this lady in the Pacific Palisades. She had, like, a little shop, and I can still smell, like, the smell of dongui. It's a herb. And when I walked in her door, it was like this smell of this, like, ancient herb. And she looked at me, and I started crying because my intuition was just like, you're in the right place. Like, you're safe finally. She gave me a hug, and she was like, got this. Like, let's just go figure it out. I had cystic acne. I had rosacea. I was losing all of my hair. Like, my health was a nightmare. And she was like the one person that I think almost this safety was part of my like healing response to seeing her. And I started studying Chinese medicine because of her.
Wow.
So, and rooted in the Chinese philosophy is obviously a lot of it with women is rooted around the menstrual cycle, the idea of like Ren and Chong and the different like meridians in the body. And that was kind of what brought me to cycle awareness as well. Because it's just intrinsic within the medicine.
Did you have to unlearn any of that Western culture wellness along the way when you were going through this process?
Yeah, I just had to unlearn like all the habits I had picked up, which were very, very masculine. I think what people don't realize is the best way to kind of like control a woman is to like isolate her and like take her out of her community. Because as women, like we need a village. We need to be around other women. We need to be supported and held. So I was just this like young girl that was in a different country that had no friends, no family, didn't know anyone, was just relying on my agents and it wasn't their job. And I felt like unsafe, like my body felt unsafe because I didn't have that community. And I think women really, really need that. If you go back a couple thousand years, like women have always been in community. So isolating yourself is like the quickest way to like fire up your nervous system and put you in your masculine because you don't feel safe.
What were the first signal signs that your body was now in a fight or flight response?
I think my body, it started from literally when I moved to Melbourne.
Okay.
It's so hard, like when you move to a city where you don't know anyone and you're starting over and you're young and you're impressionable, like you said, and you haven't had great experiences with women in the past either. Like I just felt like very alone and like, you know, I think it's not a conscious level. You're not conscious of that you feel unsafe. It's a subconscious thing where your body is constantly operating from a place of fight or flight because it doesn't feel safe, because it doesn't have support and a support network around you. And that was part of like my decision this year to move home. Because I was like, I'm just ready to give it like that safety.
So prior to us filming, you kind of announced something very exciting.
Yeah.
That you are moving back to Australia.
Yeah.
You've just like come from viewing a house. So that's congratulations.
Thank you.
So talk about, I guess, wanting to come back to Australia and making like finding a home and grounding
Reconnect.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for so long in my modeling career, like I was in America and England and Europe for like pretty much almost like 11 years modeling, right? Like I just turned 30 this year.
That's a huge career.
It was massive. And there were so many times I was like, I just want to go home. I want to be with my family. But my body said, you're a quitter. You're giving up. You're taking the easy route. And my ego was like, I am not someone that gives up and I'm going to keep pushing, right? And it was this like, I'm going to push and I'm going to push and I'm going to push until my body like screams at me. And what I realized at the end of last year was I was like, do I want to force my life and keep pushing, or how do I want my life to feel? And the answer was like, I just want it to feel easeful and like things are flowing and to feel safe. And I was like, and what feels like that? And I was like, Australia feels like that. And I think it's this idea that like if we're not working hard, right, well, this is my mentality. If we're not working hard and we're not pushing and we're not kind of struggling, we're not doing enough. And life isn't meant to be easy.
Nail on the coffin there.
Yeah.
I feel when you said that, I was like, that's like so inbred into our programming now that it's like you can't, if you quit, that's failing.
Good things don't come easy.
No. And if you say,
you can't have it all.
If you decide to change direction,
yeah,
that's giving up.
Yeah.
That's failing. And that is not, that's a quitter.
Yeah, but what if the success was like you choosing what your body needs?
Absolutely.
Oh, I would love that, because even like when I talk to Maddie, I spiral when I go slow because I've just been running off hustling and my masculine for so many years, because I started when I was 14, so it's like 11 years now I've been in the industry, and just like when I slow down, I think that I'm a failure and I think that I'm not doing enough. I need to be moving. I'm addicted to stimulation now. I've constantly got to feel like I can't sit down for too long. I have to be up, moving, grinding something.
Yeah.
So it's so funny you say that, because it's like, oh, I would love to know what it feels like to just be in a state of stillness and feel okay with that.
100%. I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. For me, Australia felt like just like a huge exhale. But I was like, but then I'm taking the easy way out and I'm giving up. And I'm actually about to put up a post tomorrow morning about this, but like it's okay to outgrow something that you worked really hard to build.
I'll be the first
And
like.
that was me with my modeling career. Was like I have outgrown the hustle culture and putting my body second and just like ragdolling myself around the country for the benefit of like what really.
But I feel like it served you for that time.
Exactly. It was a season.
Yeah.
You're allowed to outgrow those seasons.
But you should as well.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you don't move through a season, is that really what you want to be? Because, like, let's just, like, look at this actually, like, logically. Going through the seasons of the year are so nice. Like, having a winter makes you appreciate the summer. And then being so hot in the summer makes you appreciate, like, having a winter so you can have cold fires and, like, marshmallows and hot chocolates. Like, all the things that you can actually do in a physical winter that you wouldn't do in a summer. So you appreciate both of them. So if you're stuck in a season for your whole life, you enjoying modeling at like 20 isn't going to be the same as you enjoying modeling at 30.
Yeah.
So being happy with closing that door, and like honestly, every time you seem to close a door, a better door opens. So I'm so excited.
She's never truly closed a door.
No.
That is what's funny was like the end of last year, I was like, all right, I'm moving home. I'm breaking up with my boyfriend and I'm like starting my work over. And then literally it was like, I like landed in Australia and I was like, this is what I want my dream house to look like. The second house I went to, it didn't have like every box. It had like every box and ones that like I didn't even think I could get, like 3 horses.
It had
like I wanted horses on the property. And then the guy was like, oh, by the way, there's 3 horses if you don't mind looking after them. And I was like,
so the house came with horses.
Yeah, and that was like my
have
dream.
Horses.
Yeah.
I'm coming over.
I was like, this is my dream, right? And I just feel like I was so scared. I was like, I'm going to move home. I'm going to break up with my 7-year relationship. Like, I'm going to change all of my work. And like, I mean, I'm sure you guys understand, like modeling in America, it always feels like there's like a bigger client and a bigger achievement that you can chase and you can pursue.
Yeah.
Whereas Australia for me felt like a backstep. And I was like, and feeling like, oh, I'm going to fail or it's just like not going to be as like hustle. But then I realized I don't want to hustle. I actually just want to work with clients that are sweet, that like make me happy and are cool and like I can go home and like hang out. I'm just in a different energy with modeling now.
Yep.
And changing, like shutting all of those doors, like the amount that has opened, like I won't like spill all the beans, but like it's been insane. Even with like modeling, like clients reaching out to me, and I don't have an agent right now, and me being like, what? Like just being giving me like offerings and finding the perfect home. It's like when you get aligned with like what your body is screaming for and actually really wants, and you take a huge risk. I always say like courage is the currency of the universe. Like if you choose being courageous, you always get rewarded because it's like risk creates the greatest gifts in life. And that's like always been what's happened to me. It's like I take this huge risk. It feels like a whole death all at once. And then everything opens up. And I just wish like people would trust and do that a little bit more.
I think a lot of people don't listen to what will actually truly make them happy.
Intuition.
Yes.
100%.
So you said, what do I want? What is my happiness? And I think a lot of people are chasing the happiness of what they see online or what they see others doing. Because obviously if someone else is doing it, that is making them happy. So then that will fulfill me because that is what someone else is portraying. Rather than going, okay, what do I want? I want a house with horses. So like I'm copying that with you. But like I don't think a lot of people really take that moment to sit in silence and go, what serves me and what makes me happy? Because we're all individual, but yet we're all trying to live these very same lives.
Yes.
The interesting thing about that, and it's what I always say, like there's nothing outside of yourself that can actually make you happy. So when you're calling in how you want your life to be, like you just said, a house with horses.
Yes.
Tell me about it. For me, it just started off with, it's not like, what do you want your life to look like? It's how do you want your life to feel?
Yeah.
And I was like, I want my life to feel easeful. I want it to feel safe and I want it to light me up.
Yeah.
And then that led me to this like vision of just like this like little cottage on like a hill with like horses surrounded by nature. And then that became my reality because I was focusing on how do I want to feel. And the universe is going to respond to like how you want to feel rather than what you want to look because it's so much deeper.
Yeah.
And then that becomes like what you create in your life, if that makes sense.
You currently practice traditional Chinese herbal medicine. Talk to us about what you do day to day.
Yeah, so kind of what we spoke about before, I got into Chinese medicine because of my own healing experience. And I studied for 4 years. It's kind of like over here, like you have to do a degree for 3 or 4 years. And I specialized in herbs because I've always been really passionate about kind of reconnecting with nature, and herbal medicine is our like original medicine. It's our ancestral medicine. It's the medicine we relied on for thousands of years, and I'm really passionate that it's actually everybody's birthright to learn it because it was always the people's medicine. So we never actually really had practitioners like a few hundred years ago. We just had like someone that was really interested in it that became like the medicine woman for the community, right? Because it was always the way that we were healing ourselves. And I'm just really trying to bring that back. My whole passion is helping women return home to their body through their cycles and through taking herbs, and empowering them to kind of also heal themselves.
Yeah, I think this is so important. Like, we learn trigonometry, but we don't learn about how we can be our best self and how we can connect to us.
Yeah.
So how would you recommend people to connect with themselves?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of, we'd need a whole podcast to kind of go through like the Chinese medicine
Okay, book it in
theory
next week.
of how we like look at the body. But there's a topic in Chinese medicine called like the 5 element theory, and it's the idea that all the elements in nature exist within our bodies and that we are nature. So we're not actually separate from like the trees or the ocean or the wind or the earth, whatever it is. Like that all exists within us. For instance, like the spleen and stomach is associated with like the earth element, and the lungs are associated with like the air element, and the kidneys are associated with the water element, right? So it's this idea that like we actually are nature, and part of what I teach is our sickness, our chronic health issues are also a disconnect from nature. Like the further away from nature we get, the poorer our health gets. And if you look at in the last 50 years, so this is kind of like, I'm going to really just give you like the long of the short, but basically men in nature are yang in nature. So you've seen the yin yang symbol? Yeah, cool. So the half, it goes like this with the little dots on the inside. Men are yang in nature and women are yin in nature. And we've got the little dots, which means we have a little bit of each within us too, right? Because they're basically like polarized, but have a little bit of both within each other, or we wouldn't be alive and functioning. So basically women are yin, which is like solid form. It's like things that you can feel and touch. So men are more energy. So they're like chi. They're like these balls of chi that are just like firing up and going and going and going, whereas women are way more blood. We bleed, like we are more sensitive to like stress. We have more sensitive complex endocrine systems. So women are basically like, we are quite literally the earth. And like that's what people don't realize is when you look at like autoimmune conditions, 97% of them are women. Why is that? Because our endocrine system is so much more complex than a man's endocrine system. And when you look at the last 50 years, the earth, like the state of the earth is screaming. Like she's been going through so much with the climate, with the state of the earth of us disrespecting her, and like we reflect her because we are her, and women's health is screaming. And I just don't believe that that's a coincidence. So what I teach within my Chinese medicine is, yes, I give people herbs that are custom curated to what's going on in their bodies, but I also encourage them to understand like the link, like nature isn't optional. It's not optional to our well-being. Like we are nature and we always have been. And I think the more that we can connect with her, the healthier of a population will be.
I think that was so much. So I've got a toddler and he's 3.
Yeah.
And when he was younger, he had colic. And
Same.
Yeah.
I had colic for like 11 years.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
huge. So he's grown out of it now, thank goodness. But the only thing that I could do to calm him down was to walk outside. And I just think it's like, they don't know any different because they're infants. But there's something within those elements that are so calming that they don't even realize that it's happening. And I think they don't know, but something is triggering them to feel better.
Instinct.
It's instinct. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is exactly,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to say. So
Beautiful.
really thank you for summarizing that for me.
Can we like dive into that for a second?
Yes.
It's really interesting.
Go.
Okay. So like colic, obviously it's like kind of like a form of like regurgitation, right? It's irritation of the digestive tract. So like our spleen and stomach is like the earth element. And when we're newborns, right, we're like literally developing our earth element. Like we have very weak digestive systems. That's why when we get breastfed, we get colostrum. Therefore, we're like building our immune system. But babies, like up until they're kind of 4 or 5 and they're on solids, the reason they can't eat solid food is because they're developing their earth element, their spleen and stomach, right? So if we have colic, we have like a weak spleen and stomach. And what like balances out the earth element, the earth needs like water. and you're like putting them in a bath.
Yeah.
Because it's like balancing them out. Like it's the elements that are balancing out. And then the air, which is also going to be supportive for the earth element as well. It's like all the elements in nature are massively supportive. And then you have like the fire element, which is the heart. And probably
the burning of the esophagus. Oh,
so it's like the
crazy.
elements are also just trying to balance themselves out. It's like instinct. Like we're way more primal than we believe.
I think that's so interesting. If anyone else is listening and they think this is also super interesting, how would they connect with you to learn more?
Yeah, I feel like we need like a 4-hour podcast. My Instagram is just Georgia Gibbs _ and I've been a little bit disconnected from socials lately just because I've had a lot going on, but I have a lot planned for next year, which is really exciting. So you can connect with me there. And then also my website is just www.georgiamaygibbs.com as well. And then there's a bunch of info on there too.
So what's kind of like stuck with me is about your cycle awareness, because I'm on birth control and I know you're saying it's for women who are on birth control, it can be a lot easier to have those really long days really pushing you because of that 24-hour ebb and flow. Yeah. Do talk to me about how does tracking your cycle tie into the career performance for you?
Yeah. So I think the only way I was able to function modeling the way that I did was because I was on birth control, because it allowed me to kind of like level out my hormones. I wasn't bleeding. I wasn't ovulating. Like I was just like, it was allowing me to kind of have this like masculine consistency, and women are not consistent. We are literal chaos. We are.
Oh, I felt that with every being of my body.
And like we're kind of taught to like be the same every day, but our hormones are different every single day, which doesn't allow us to show up the same every day. So if you're a model and you want to show up at peak performance every single day, it is impossible to do it without birth control. So I totally hear you. Like that was where I was. And then I just got to a point where I was like sick of dulling down my body. And I wanted to get in touch with myself. And I just think that your cycle is a beautiful opportunity to actually like connect in and create a lot of self-awareness around your body of like how you're feeling and learning to honor yourself and your needs. And it allows you to come home to your body because you understand it better. And women really are just like this chaotic, inconsistent, like we are nature. Like if you look at the surf, the way it's like flat one day, wavy another day, windy another day, like that's us.
What would your advice be for someone like me who's on birth control and would love to get off it one day? Yeah. What would the steps be to help get off and be a normal functioning human being? Because I know it can be a bit hilly getting off.
Totally. So my kind of biggest, I mean, this would be a whole podcast, but my kind of biggest questions around birth control is the way that it depletes your body of essential nutrients and minerals. And like what I said before, women are yin, we are substance. We need those nutrients and minerals. Like we have a way more sensitive endocrine system and stress response than men do. And like we need those nutrients and minerals to thrive. Like when I say like our minerals are like the electrical system, like the electrical plugs of our body that make our mitochondria, which is our energy cells, like work. And what birth control does is basically depletes it of all of those essential minerals, B vitamins, magnesium, all the stuff that also calms us down, right? And what usually happens is if we come off birth control cold turkey, our body then comes off these synthetic hormones and goes on this roller coaster, which usually ends up in like estrogen dominance, progesterone deficiency. And progesterone is a hormone that makes us feel good. It's like our relaxing pro-gestation. It's like pro-pregnancy. It's like the reason that women have really bad luteal phases is because they don't have enough progesterone. Progesterone is literally like our happy hormone. Everyone thinks estrogen is, but it's like not the truth. They work in like a ratio of each other. This could be a whole podcast. But the only way to really support your body, and I do like a lot of birth control detox, is really to like start replenishing those nutrients and minerals while you're still on it. So like if you want to have a better time, work on your methylation and the way that you support your liver health. So like that's going to be like your B vitamins, your magnesium, your electrolytes, making sure you're getting all of that in. And then women, our essence is like our blood. So eating like blood nourishing food. Like slow I know cooked. You understand like slow cooked, like soups, stews, like all that good stuff. Like stop having as much cold food. The Chinese hate cold food. We hate cold water. Like heaps of like frozen food and smoothies and like all of that stuff is like weakening your digestive system. And the earth is our foundation of our entire body. So for me, like if I was I went off birth control cold turkey. It was the 31st of December, 2019. And I was like,
New year, new me?
Yeah, this is me being an impulsive Gemini. I was like, I'm not going to be on this for one more day. And like I went in and just got my IUD like ripped out. I didn't even think about
Why
it.
did you say ripped? Like, why?
Because it hurts so much. Literally, they just like, and you're like, oh, it was so uncomfortable. But I didn't do any preparation. And I always say to girls, like, you know, you can empower yourself. There's so much you can be doing while you're on birth control to make your experience when you come off birth control so much better. Like, you don't have to rush it right now. Like, don't fear anything. Just, like, get prepared. Like, you could spend a year or 2 years just preparing your body to come off it. You can start replenishing your nutrients, your minerals, working on your stress response, like, working on your circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is really connected with your infradian rhythm, which is like our menstrual cycle. So there's so much you can do to support your body. And then also it affects your gut microbiome as well. So like making sure that like you're rebalancing your gut microbiome before you come off as well. And it can be like insanely helpful. Like preparation is power, really.
Yeah, that's great.
That was great advice. I think that will really help people.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, we are going to do a little yes and no game now on a more light-hearted note.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Would you ever go on a TV show again?
She's like, hard no. Hard no.
I actually haven't owned a TV for 7 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know.
I do love that for you.
Thank you.
Have you ever lied about your age in the industry?
No.
Have you ever been told to lose weight for a job? Have you ever dated someone in the industry? Have you ever worked with someone you secretly couldn't stand?
Yeah.
Have you ever been offered a job and regretted saying yes?
Yes.
I love that you're not on the fence about any of these. You're just like, hard no, firm yes.
Have you ever kissed someone on set?
On a wedding shoot, yeah, getting married.
Wow.
Yeah, we did like a campaign in the Bahamas.
Have you ever missed a flight on shoot day?
No.
Ooh.
I know.
That's so good.
I'm really like,
good girl.
I'm like an old school professional.
Have you ever worked with a celebrity?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yourself?
No.
Have you ever been asked to do something on set that crossed a boundary?
Yes. And the
No.
answer was no.
And you didn't do it?
No.
Good. Have you ever fallen on the runway?
No.
Have you ever been made to shoot crazy hours with no breaks?
Yes.
You're an OG, so absolutely
Absolutely
yes.
yes.
Yeah. Have you ever left set thinking, I will never work with these people again? Have you ever gone shoot images back that you just hated? Have you ever done a shoot that you never got paid for? Oh.
Huge amount of money in America.
Oh.
Yeah, I left my previous agent because of that. She was just like, they haven't paid sods. And I was like, that was my...
Did they go bankrupt or
buy
was
a
there
house
a
money.
reasoning?
Oh, they had their...
Buy a house money?
It was like basically a huge deal with a brand. It was like a full like modeling personality Instagram. It was like a whole thing, like being like the face of the brand. And they were registered in Delaware, which is like a tax haven in America. And they basically just like announced bankruptcy and then like disappeared. And then it was like during COVID and like we found out that all their money was coming from Russia. It was really intense.
And
I
had you
never got
done the
paid.
entire job?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
They got no
Whoa.
monies.
That's a bummer.
Damn.
It was heartbreaking.
Have you ever fainted on a job?
Yes.
Ooh.
I used to have really bad POTS. So I used to get super dizzy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I fainted on Australia's Next Top Model.
Oh. You're like, this is my intro to modeling. There I go.
Oh. Have you ever worked on set with someone who's made you cry?
Yeah, I'm super sensitive.
Oh, girl, what's your moon sign?
I'm like Saggy Scorpio.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm Leo, Scorpio.
Oh, love Scorpio.
Taurus, Pisces, Leo.
Oh wow.
Well, now that we're all acquainted.
Have you ever had a model backstab you?
Yeah.
Oh, not cool, girl. Have you ever been asked out by someone on set?
No,
Hmm.
but I think I've definitely like a lot of flirting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard industry gossip about you? Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've been in it for a long time.
Yeah.
Like this shit's bound to happen.
Period.
It's like working in an office and saying that no one's ever said shit about you. It just like doesn't
Totally.
exist, you know?
100%.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, before we say goodbye, we're going to finish this episode on a model rack. It could be a movie, it could be a podcast, it could be a book, it could be something about your Chinese herbal medicine. Anything you want to tell the listeners, take the floor.
Ooh. I think for me, honestly, like I'm such a grandma at heart, such an old soul, but reading is the biggest hack to being like, one, a more empowered person. it's like you can learn anything from a book. Like you don't really have to go to uni. Like you can learn from a book. And more interesting, more expansive. Like I just think books are it. And I think they're really coming back, books, you know, like everyone wants to be able to hold something tangible, even if it's Kindle. And I think like anything David Hawkins, like if you're just like ready to like, just like, I don't know, get in touch with yourself and like move through some things that are holding you back. I think that's a great place to
He's the
start.
guy.
He's just great. Yeah, I love him.
That was truly so impactful. I've honestly learned so much about myself and us as women, the whole 4 seasons as as a woman, and all these are just amazing things I never would have heard if you hadn't come on. And I definitely will be reaching out to you after this to learn more. But we're just so grateful to have you on. We know how busy you are. We know you're just living so many different lives at the moment, but you're just finally coming home to yourself, coming back to Byron.
Yeah.
Byron girly, yes.
Yeah, Byron girly.
Yes, but we're so appreciative. So thank you so much for coming on today.
You're so welcome. It's an honor. Thanks for being such a like, I don't know, like uplifting, like highlight in the industry. You guys are doing such a good job.
Well, welcome back to Australia.
Yay!
Thanks, beautiful.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode was brought to you by Q Models. If you like this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, and tune in next week to get to know the model behind the lens.